Do you have that one friend that is just so beautiful? She's like the most stunning creature ever. And then you see her choice of men and you're like, bro, like what is wrong with you? Why are we doing this? What are we doing? Are we doing things for the plot? Like, let me know. Am I missing something? And you just watch her settle over and over and over again. And from your perspective, you're like, bro, you're the most beautiful, most like wonderful human being. And then you're giving your attention to these creatures. Like, what is going on? This brings me to the topic of when people settle in their life. I believe that what people make themselves capable of receiving and believe that they are able to receive sets the foundation for where they're going in this life. It's that simple. Many people, and I mean many people in this world, settle for less than they deserve. Not because they're not capable of getting more, but it's just because of the belief that they have of what they believe they can receive. And once you understand how life actually works, you're gonna quickly realize that 99% of the game of life is about the standard of belief. Belief is the foundation for receiving anything in this world. Belief is the foundation of how your life feels and looks. And to further explain my point, think of it this way. Self-esteem is the belief of who you are. And then your love life is the belief of what you think you deserve. And then your life in general is the belief of what you think your life can look like. Belief itself is the material that your whole life and identity is based on. So that is the topic of this YouTube video today. Now, changing your ability to receive is something I'm so passionate about, not only because I think it is life-changing, but because I changed my life through it. I come from an immigrant family. I'm also the eldest daughter of an immigrant family, so you can only understand what my life looks like, right? And growing up, having all that pressure as the eldest daughter, the amount of wounds I've developed, the amount of blocks I had, the amount of limitations I had in my brain and in my ability to live, a lot of my eldest daughters and a lot of people who come from immigrant households would recognize what I mean by we actually have no idea who we are outside of like people pleasing, outside of doing things for others, outside of the way that we are worthy through the things that we do from the outside. We actually have no sense of identity until we take our power back. Now, in my personal life, what actually happened was my environment did turn me into a people pleaser and developed this idea in my head that if I am asking for more than I have right now, that means I'm ungrateful for what I actually have. Yuck, what a stupid mentality. We're not doing that anymore. Now, obviously looking back at myself, having this mentality, obviously I'm not gonna grow. I didn't grow. I was stuck and stagnant in the same mindset. My life changed. Things happened from the outside, but deep down, I was still that wounded little girl who always felt like her worth was tied to what she did for others. That little girl in me believed she couldn't receive more than what she had right now, so that caused me to settle for a degree I was not happy with. I mean, I did 4 years of pre-med knowing that I never wanted to. I settled for a relationship for years of my life because I just didn't think it would get better. I did so many different things and create different parts of my life that were a result of what I believed could be possible for me. And now, fast forward, where every part of my life is exactly how I want it to be. Every aspect of my life is chosen and built brick by brick. I can confidently say, shit. So now, as you're trying to change and as you're trying to like develop this new identity and deep down you know who you want to be, the reason you can't change is because of this already set in stone self-image you have. And that's where the ceiling of reality comes in. I only settled in my life for all the things I settled for because of this imaginary ceiling I had in my head. Once I destroyed this idea of this invisible ceiling I have in my head, let me show you what actually happened. I used to fear that if I drop out, my dad is gonna feel like, the fact that he immigrated here and all the hard work he put in is not gonna be worth it. Fast forward to now, girl, we chillin', we good, we vibin', and the world did not end when I dropped out. It does feel like that, but it never did. Prior to me destroying the ceiling, I kept going back to a relationship that wasn't serving me, okay? It was not serving me whatsoever. And fast forward to now, I'm the happiest I've ever been. I'm the most confident I've ever been because I got a very clear idea of who I want and who I don't want, and I became a magnet to men like that. I do not settle for less than I deserve. I've always wanted to create content, but because of this invisible ceiling in my head, I waited until now to be able to start developing a personal brand on what I'm passionate about. I used to ask myself all the time, who am I to create mindset mastery content and content on entrepreneurship? Maybe the girl who did master her mind and maybe the girl who did start a bunch of businesses. Like, the amount of things that will cause you to believe you're not capable are all stemming from that invisible ceiling. Do you see the pattern here? The pattern is that human beings limit themselves and what they are capable of receiving just simply because of the belief of how much they believe they can receive. Just because you've given time to something doesn't mean it doesn't get better than that. Doesn't mean that you will never receive anything more. I am letting you know now it's complete and utter bullshit to believe that it doesn't get better than this because of this limitation you've put on yourself in your mind. Now, let me present the reframe for you, okay? Let me tell you how I actually started living a life on my terms, on my means, and built a life that I'm so happy with. And yes, I am very happy with my life. I have the dream career, I have the dream body, I have, well, kind of working on this one. We go to the gym, okay? But yeah, I have the dream career, I'm building the dream body. Like, I met a man that I absolutely adore. Like, I was able to get everything I want once I destroyed the ceiling. But the question is, how do you destroy the ceiling? How do you identify that it is even stopping you? Now, there is somebody who is out there who has everything you want. Everything. I'm talking everything. They are living your dream life. So how come they're able to receive it and you can't? What is the difference between you and them? It's the simple concept of changing what you believe you can receive. I know, it sounds so simple. Like I always say, we as human beings complicate the process of change because change feels uncomfortable. I want you to truly ask yourself, what is it that I want? Not what they want for me, not what my parents want for me, not what my partner wants for me. What is it that I want? And promise me never to settle for anything less. That is just the base standard of what this invisible ceiling is going to be destroyed by. The base level is, first of all, getting a very clear idea of what it is that I want. And then never ever in your life settling for anything less than that. You have to realize that this ceiling that you have is self-induced, okay? And it is capping you at 20% of your actual potential. You have 80% of all this potential, but because you have this invisible ceiling, you're capped at a 20, maybe even less, who knows? Now, this is why I'm such a big advocate for journaling, because if it wasn't for journaling, if it wasn't for me writing down the exact life I want to live, having the exact type of feelings I want to feel, being able to actually envision and put on paper what I want, I would never be in this position. I would never be somebody who destroyed the invisible ceiling, because doing the self-work and writing everything out made me realize that, oh wait, it's real. It's actually real that I've been stopping myself. It's been real that I'm the only thing getting in my way. I simply started with painting the most detailed picture of what I want out of this life. And when I say detailed, I mean to the T. I put down everything that Zahra did from 6 a.m. to when she went to bed. I put in detail what I wanted in a man. Like when I tell you I put in detail, girl, like I wrote down everything that I wanted in this person. And after I got a clear idea of what I wanted, I removed anything out of my life that did not fit that picture. And I mean, everything had to go. You change what you are capable of receiving once you destroy this imaginary ceiling. People go from broke to millionaires. People go from abusive relationships to being the most happy. People grow from pivoting from careers. Like people change all the time once they realize that the only thing getting in their way is themselves and their doubts. Nothing else. And one thing that I can say is whatever you want becomes possible the moment you decide it is possible. It's just that simple belief aspect of saying, I can do this. I will do this. And then just going out there and getting it done. Just because you are a certain way right now, just because your life feels a certain way, just because it looks a certain way, does not mean it will be like this forever. You can be anything you want to be. You can build anything you want to build, but it starts with you. It always starts with you. You have to get incredibly clear about how high or low the ceiling is and then destroy that bitch. And when I say destroyed, I mean completely. Get rid of it. It feels like the ceiling is made of concrete, but I can assure you it's literally straw. The ceiling fears you more than you fear it. I promise you that. I encourage you to destroy the ceiling. I encourage you to understand where it is limiting you, how it's limiting you. Write it down. Get really clear of where you are, where you want to go, and then destroy it. I mean destroy, I mean beat it up, I mean get rid of it completely. Dream bigger, have bigger goals. My favorite saying of all time is make bold choices. I love making bold choices, and little me would be so surprised to see this version of me making bold choices because we could never. That little me could never. This is why people settle. People settle because the moment that they want more, they hit this barrier and they don't know how to get past it. They don't get past it because they don't have a clear idea of what's actually standing on the other side. Send this to your friend who's dating horrible men, okay? Because I feel like I need to tell her something. Like you are so beautiful. You cannot be doing this to yourself. But this also genuinely applies to your career because we limit our passion as ambitious people so much. We limit our capability so much because of this invisible ceiling. We're like, how can I do this? How am I going to be able to do this? It doesn't matter how. It just matters that you believe you can. It doesn't matter how it's going to get done. It just matters that you see that you can. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.